Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this August the 24th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Thursday out there so far. Hope everybody has a great Thursday afternoon. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about the tropics here. You see, we got some areas of disturbed weather we need to be talking about Tropical Storm Franklin, which will become a hurricane, maybe a Category 2, maybe even a 3 hurricane. As I mentioned in several videos back, that it could become a Category 1 or maybe even a 2 hurricane. If you want to, you could go back and check those videos out as well. I can't remember how far back, but I think it's a couple back, 2 or 3, 4 maybe back behind this one here. But anyway, also, we're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for the heat advisories because we got a lot of heat going on in the central portion of the United States, with a lot of heat indices reaching about 115 to maybe about 120 degrees in some spots. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation as well because we do have some showers and storms across the nation. Plus, we got some severe weather to talk about as well at the end of this broadcast. So stick around to the entire video and do not miss a beat of this forecast. And if you're a new viewer, go ahead and hit that subscribe button today for me. Love to have you. This is an atmospheric family. We're glad to have everybody on board. And I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to it. Thank y'all very much. And like I said, this is no clickbait channel. This is just a forecast channel. And I'm just trying to give you this department. So it's not no clickbait channel. Just want to make sure, straighten out with everybody just to make sure. I'm pretty sure everybody's satisfied with my forecast. Greatly appreciate that. Also, like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks, and let's go ahead and dive on into some details of your local forecast. As you can see here, this is Tropical Storm Franklin, just north of the Dominican Republic, east. Yeah, you can see a little area right here. This is Bermuda. Franklin is expected to pass right about like where my mouse is going, kind of like through here. So the east side. So Franklin may get you with a little bit of his tropical storm conditions. Now if Franklin moves a little bit further to the east, then you're going to get more impacts on Bermuda. So my friends in Bermuda, if anybody watching from out there, if anybody from the United States knows Bermuda, anybody in Bermuda, tell them they need to watch out for Franklin because it continues to move north. Also, I'm expected along the east coast from the Carolinas, Georgia through the Carolinas all the way up into Maine, even up toward Nova Scotia. Expect some high rip currents along coastal areas. Also high tide in some locations as well, and also some high surfs and high swells out in further nautical miles. You go east out into the coastal water, more high surf, high swells in the Atlantic Ocean from distant tropical storm Franklin, which will become a hurricane in this vicinity right here, just west or just southwest. Should be coming up in the next. We'll take a look at a little bit of information on that as we continue to get on deeper into the forecast. Here's the remnants of, we got a little bit of disturbed weather here. I think this was the remnants of Gert, but like I say, Gert, really nothing. This is that little system here that has a 40% of development. It looks a little better organized, almost looks big as Franklin. I don't know why the Hurricane Center haven't system here yet because it looks identical to Franklin. So I would not be surprised. They may that may increase. They may have to issue some kind of storm on this one or something, or a depression or something on this system. Also, the hurricane center needs to watch this system here as it rolls off the African coast. Got some more activity to the southwest. This system here looks like a pretty well organized system here moving off the African coast. I would not be surprised they marked that as well. All right, most of this up here is Emily. There's a cold front approaching, so I think Emily might have a chance of becoming something. The Hurricane Center got it about 70%. But if that cold front, if that remnants of Emily kind of merges with that cold front, that will kind of knock that system down to where it will not develop at all. But the Hurricane Center still has a 70%. Will it become a tropical storm? I'm about 50-50 on that right now. All right, all eyes will be on this system here coming up early next week. I'm expecting a tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. Something that may happen early next week. The system here is going to cross over Central America and move into the southwestern Caribbean Sea, and then move on in between, and then it's going to move into the southern Gulf, and then with all this warm water up here in the Gulf of Mexico, every year the ice storm is the main major player in the storm. So we need to keep our eyes on Adelia. If this system here becomes Adelia, then we won't. That storm there is gonna stay out to sea, look like right now. If this one here gets Adelia, then we'll have to be on the lookout, because a lot of these ice storms have been kind of been retiring here lately. Because a lot of because they've been becoming major hurricanes and slamming Florida. Um, so we're just gonna have to keep an eye on it and see which one becomes Adelia. But if this one here becomes Adelia, this one here will become Jose. Jose maybe a year they're gonna switch up. Maybe it's gonna be the J storm that may do some damage to the United States. I don't know yet, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. And like I said, there's a little system up here. We're going to talk about that in the severe weather, because we got enhanced risk of severe weather up here in portions of the Ohio Valley, moving into portion of the Northeast as well. We got some shower and thunderstorms in the Pacific, Eastern Pacific, right along Mexico. We'll have to keep an eye on a few of them marked as about 70 or 80% in that region as well. All right, now here's a look at Tropical Storm Franklin. As of this afternoon, Tropical Storm Franklin still getting his act together. If you look at it real close, it looks like an eye and mouth. Let me pause that a minute, and we're going to take a look at that real quick. This is something scary here, folks. Look at it. Let me get it back over. See if I can get it back over to that last shot. See that, folks? Eyeball, and a mouth. That looks kind of scary, folks. This looks kind of scary right here. This looks like a face. Right here. Look like a face. I just happened to see that, folks. I ain't even paid no attention. That looks just like a face. Right in here. Eyeballs, and a mouth. That's scary, folks. Got a tropical storm Franklin with eyeballs and a mouth. Wow, that's kind of scary there, folks. And that looks like an eyeball sitting right here, don't it, folks? See, there's the pupil of the eye, and there's the eyeball right there. Yeah, got some scary things out there, folks. All right, but anyway, let's move on to the information. That's enough of looking at that face there. There it is. You can see it like that now. See, there's the face of the storm. All right, let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center hurricane cone. Alright, this is as of 11 a.m. this morning. This is the center of rotation of Tropical Storm Franklin. Franklin looks to move to the kind of to the east northeast. Then it becomes a hurricane by Saturday at 8 a.m. It remains a hurricane all the way to it passes Bermuda. See, Bermuda's right here, and you're on the east side of the cone. This is the center of rotation. The center could go a little bit this way, or the center could go a little this way. That's why I'm saying everybody in Bermuda needs to be on the lookout for this system, because it possibly could affect you and bring some gusty winds and also some heavy rains to your region as well. All right, if you're tracking this system at home, the center of the storm is located near latitude 22.2 north, longitude 69.9 west. Maximum sustained winds now are at 60 miles per hour. It's only about 14 more miles per hour. It would be classified as a hurricane. Also, the movement is to the northeast at 7 miles per hour. Right now, it's classified as a tropical storm with winds of 39 to 73 miles per hour. But right now, if it would get 74 to 110, that's why the National Hurricane Center go ahead and classify it as a hurricane. All right, let's take a look at the model runs here from the Hurricane Center. All right, here's the current position of the storm. Like I say, just east of the Bahamas. That's the center off to the east northeast. Then it's going to take a sharp kind of toward the north northwest. Then it's going to take a kind of a northerly path and then out to sea into the Atlantic. Like I said, there's Bermuda sitting right there. So anybody in Bermuda, you need to be on the lookout, because like I said, you may have some gusty winds and some heavy rain. I would not be surprised to maybe even see some tornadic activity out of this system as well on the northeastern quadrant of the storm. All right, here's a look at the intensity guidance. Like I say, winds of about, according to this model, it's about 50, but 60 is supposed to be about 55. But right now it's about 50 knots. So it's classified as tropical storm. All the models takes up to a category 2. Even one takes up to a category 3. I would not be surprised it even reaches category 3. It could reach it with waters that high. But right now we're just gonna go with a category 2 at this point. So, but there is some models is hinting at maybe category 3 status. I would not rule that out, because it could become a hurricane. It could become a category 3 storm. Never could tell. Because I think a category 3 starts at 111, I think, or 115, something like that. So we'll have to keep eye on that and see if Franklin makes it to a category 3. But I'm going along with the National Hurricane Center, category 1 and a category 2 hurricane by Saturday and into next Monday and Tuesday. All right, now let's take a look at the weather radar across the nation. Now we do have clusters of shit. Well, no. Sorry about that. The watches, warning, and advisory map. That's right. All right. This is the heat dome area. This is where the temperature can climb to 110, from 110 to 120 degrees in some spots. We got some air quality alerts down here in portions of Georgia, also in the portion of Colorado, also in the portion of Arizona, a little bit in portion of Oregon. You guys out here in portion of Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, this is red flag warnings. Fire can take off quickly, as you've seen up in Washington State. From that wildfire in that region, flood watching effect there for portions of central Mexico. Also up here in portions of Ohio as well. Flood advisory there for some heavy rain. Air quality alerts also for Michigan. And in the orange area from portions of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, also into Tennessee, up into Kentucky, also into Ohio, and also West Virginia, also into Michigan, also into Wisconsin, Minnesota, also into Nebraska, down into Oklahoma, Texas, and South Texas. The orange is a heat advisory, but the red here, the burgundy color, extended from Texas, Oklahoma, also into Kansas, also in Nebraska, southeastern Iowa, also southern Minnesota, all of Iowa, also Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, portion of Alabama, western Tennessee, northwestern Kentucky and central Kentucky, western Ohio, and much of Indiana and southern Michigan. This is a excessive heat warning. This is where the heat indices will climb that high from 110 to about 120 degrees in spots. So keep cool out there, folks, in that region there. So stay cool and stay hydrated and do the best you can and try to limit outdoor activity as much as possible from the excessive heat. All right, now we can take a look at the weather radar. I got ahead of myself, folks, but let's take a look at the weather radar now across the nation. As you can see here, showers and storms up here around Lake Huron, also down toward the east of Detroit, also just around not too far from Toronto, Canada. Also over toward Rochester, over toward Albany, also New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., also down toward Virginia, West Virginia, over here just east of Columbus, Ohio, and also east of Cincinnati. Also down toward portions of eastern Kentucky, also around Knoxville, Tennessee, just northwest of Greenville, Spartanburg. Got some you guys, some in coastal areas of the coastal waters off the mid-Atlantic region. Also some across southern Canada. Let's see if we can move the weather radar a little bit further to the west. We got some in southern Canada, also up in North Dakota, also some in South Dakota, portion of Minnesota. Same over here just east of Salt Lake City, also down in the southern Utah, and also into a portion of northwestern Mexico, also in the northeastern portions of Arizona, also a little bit in Nevada. All right, as we continue to move southbound, we're going to take a look down toward the Gulf of Mexico, also in South Florida. Also, we got showers and storms in the western Gulf of Mexico, across the northern and eastern and southeastern portion of the Gulf of Mexico as well. Also, we got some scattered showers over Florida, just west of Jacksonville, down towards the west of Orlando, east of Tampa, also down towards southern Florida, and also just northwest of Miami. There's a little bit of a glimpse of what's in Franklin from the radar view of San Juan, Puerto Rico. You can see the back edge of Franklin just north of you guys. All right, now let's go ahead and wrap it up with the severe weather. We're going to take a look at severe weather for today and for your Friday, because we do have some severe weather to talk about for these 2 days. All right, as you can see, we got general thunderstorm for portion of Maine all the way down to the Carolinas, also down into Louisiana and Texas, down across southern and central and southern Florida, down toward the Florida Keys. Also in West Texas, back to Arizona, New Mexico, over to Nevada, all the way back into North and South Dakota, back into Minnesota as well, northern Michigan, a little bit in northern California, Oregon, and Washington State. All right, we got a marginal risk over here in portion of Nebraska through South Dakota, North Dakota, slight risk over portion of northern North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. Got a marginal risk over northern Minnesota as well. Marginal rift over Michigan, all the way down into Georgia and western Carolinas, also into portions of Pennsylvania and New York State. Slight rift in the yellow here in portions of Pennsylvania, all the way back into Michigan. Also in the enhanced rift, also in much of Michigan, into portions of Ohio and into portions of northwestern Pennsylvania. If you're in the enhanced risk, this includes Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Akron, Ohio, and Warren, Michigan. That's the enhanced risk for this afternoon. If you're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Grand Rapids, Michigan, South Bend, Indiana, Canton, Ohio, Kalamazoo, Michigan, you are in the slight risk for severe weather. And if you live in Chicago, Illinois, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Atlanta, Georgia, you are in a marginal risk. Take a look at the tornado probability here now. As you can see, we got 2% in North Dakota, Minnesota. Same over here in Michigan, back into New York State, also into Pennsylvania. 5% over Michigan, into portion of Ohio, and also into Pennsylvania for today. And if you live in Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Akron, Ohio, and Warren, Michigan, 5% risk for a tornado this afternoon. Also, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Canton, Ohio, and Creekatawa, New York. That's a mouthful to say. All right. But anyway, let's take a look at the wind probability. 5% in the brown, 15 in yellow, 30% in the red. The yellow and the red slashed area, that's the severe area. All right, this is for damaging winds. This is for significant severe weather and a 30% risk for severe weather. This includes the cities of Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Akron, Ohio, and Warren, Michigan. This is for the significant area for damaging winds and 30% risk area. All right, we live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Grand Rapids, Michigan, South Bend, Indiana, Canton, Ohio. 15% risk for damaging winds for today. And also, if you live in Chicago, Illinois, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Atlanta, Georgia, 5% risk for damaging winds. Take a look at the hail probability. 5% in the brown, 15 in the yellow. If you live in Detroit, Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Warren, Michigan, Sterling Heights, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, 15% risk for large hail. And if you live in Chicago, Illinois, Columbus, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 5% risk for damaging wind. All right, now let's move on. Large hail, excuse me. All right, let's move on to your Friday forecast now. As we got a marginal risk of severe weather across portions of the nation. All right, general thunderstorm from Maine all the way down to portions of South Carolina, all the way back into portions of Ohio, back into New Mexico, Arizona, back to Washington, Oregon State, Montana, and also Idaho. Same over here in Texas, all the way back into Florida and Georgia, and across southern Florida and the Florida Florida Keys. All right, marginal risk from the mid-Atlantic states, all the way back into portions of Kansas, all the way back to Colorado. All right, if you live in Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Missouri, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Omaha, Nebraska, marginal risk for severe weather coming up on Friday. The tornado probability, less than 2% all area. Winds and hail, both winds. Well, let's do the winds first. That's Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Missouri, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Omaha, Nebraska. 5% risk for damaging wind. 5% area here for large hail. This includes Springfield, Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, Davenport, Iowa, Decatur, Illinois, and Bloomington, Illinois for damaging wind. Large hail. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hope everybody continue to stay safe and well. Also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, consider subscribing if you have not. Also, we'll catch you back in the next video, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Take care. Have a great Thursday afternoon, folks.